down through there with our hair. You know what I'm saying? And so where did your natural hair journey begin?
Well, I'll probably say maybe around 7 years ago or so. You know, because I mean, I think, you know, one good point maybe we could start talking about today is why we even went off from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what happened, what, you know, caused us to relax our hair. Why did we relax our hair? So I could start, like, I really started relaxing my hair very young, like 9 even, you know. And one thing I know, the reason I could, like, think about why I relaxed my hair is just seeing, you know, our idols on television. I think at the time Janet Jackson came out, you know, with Rhythm Nation, and said, okay, well, let me, like, I want to relax my hair. I want to have that look too. Aaliyah, and then it just started from there.
Right,
you know?
right.
And, you know, like a lot of us, the first thing we realize when we put that relaxer in, it's not a good thing.
It's not.
At all.
Especially when your scalp start burning.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
When
the scalp start burning, and you get, you know, you actually, the next day, the day after you get the relaxer, you got sores, you know, and then when that scalp comes off, a whole piece of your hair comes off too. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's to just think about all of the unnatural things we've done, you know, throughout the course of our, you know, our lives, just trying to, you know, get our hair to, you know, to just fit in or whatever it was we caught ourselves doing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just glad that I see that we, you know, there are a lot of more sisters grabbing hold to the natural hair, and just owning it and walking in it, and not really worrying about, you know, a weave or a relaxer or, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because it's like, I know my journey started young, but my mother didn't allow us to have relaxers. She didn't give us relaxers, but she gave us press and curls.
Right.
You know, so hey sister, we got another sister in the building.
Hi.
Talking about natural hair, Relly the poet. What's up, sis?
Sorry I'm so late. Thank
It's
y'all
okay.
for
It's
having
okay,
me.
sis.
Y'all know these children. Gotta get the babysitters together. But yes, thank you for having me. This conversation is
no
so
problem.
necessary.
It is very necessary. We don't talk about it enough. You know, but we weren't allowed to have relaxers. We got press and curls. You know what I'm saying? And then it got to a point to where our mother couldn't do our hair anymore, and she sent us to the beauty shop to get Jerry curls. So I had a Jerry curl all through high school. I didn't get a relaxer till I was like 22 years old, and then I really hate that I did it. Because once you get it, you have to keep doing it, or you just got to right.
Don't,
because it'll break off.
Right.
Certainly, yeah.
So, where did your natural hair journey begin?
So my natural hair journey began literally just over 5 years ago. For me, my permed hair, my relaxed hair was all I knew. According to some conversations I had with my mom, she started relaxing my hair at 5. Wow. So I knew nothing else. Wow. And when I returned from graduate school, I decided, hey, you know, I wonder what my natural hair just looks like. What is the texture like? And so it really just started with curiosity. But then as I went on through the journey, I began to realize that my hair is political. My hair is strong. And there's a reason why, a larger agenda for why Black women are perming and relaxing their hair and not even know it. And so I remember, of course, through a series of bad weaves and hair experiences, I remember going to my stylist, and she said that when you relax your hair, there's chemicals obviously in this perm that actually goes and penetrates the hair bond that actually makes your hair submit. And when I began to put that in the context of slavery, that's when I began to really see relaxers as being this chemical that actually was breaking our strong hair bonds down. So very much like how it broke the bonds that tie us, that strengthen us as a community, as a united people, that's what it was doing to our hair. And so I think, you know, having that sort of realization along the journey just really allowed me to appreciate the strength of my hair and also the beauty that we have naturally as Black goddesses. And I remember the first day that I actually wore my hair natural to work. And there was this white man who had been, I mean, he actually retired like a year later. So I think that was, you know, I don't know if he thought, you know, maybe he could just kind of say or do whatever he wants, you know. And of course, him being a white male within this sort of larger context we're in. But I remember him saying, "Where's the old Stephanie? I want the old Stephanie back." And it was actually that experience that really showed me that our hair is political and that white people are intimidated by our natural look.
They are.
And that there's a strength and it exudes our consciousness where we are collectively in our awareness and how we see ourselves. And so I think for that particular moment, it just really showed me that my hair was more than just a hairstyle. You know, it's a political statement that says a lot about who I am, my self-security, my security in myself, where I am in confidence, self-respect, and appreciation. But just 5 years ago.
Self-love, you know, it shows, it definitely exudes self-love when you wear your natural hair, you know, and it have to be subject to that man's comments. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And him thinking that it's okay to just say that. Because for so many years, you know, you see women that just would never wear their hair like that. Would never. We would never wear our hair like that because of fear of losing our jobs, you know, fear of being ridiculed, you know, stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's an awesome story. So you, Miss Sorrell, how long have you been wearing your locks?
I have been wearing my locks for a couple years, similar to this queen, like 5 or 6 years. Like very similar story. Like since I remember being maybe like 4 years old, and my mom and sister always make fun of me. They like, you was bald headed, you ain't had no hair, but they permed it though. I was 4 years old with this much hair, and I remember the day that they permed it very vaguely. Like I remember feeling like, oh wow, like this is nice. My hair was soft and silky for a minute. I remember the burn. I remember the smell. It, you know, I remember a lot of things about it, and I didn't know how to do my hair. My mom, you know, she kept it in braids, but she would perm it, you know, for special occasions, graduations, pictures and stuff. It would be straightened. And I started my lock journey at a time where I was just done. I didn't know what to do with it. I remember I used to wash it and then like comb it out and grease it and put it in like a mohawk, just put it straight up. Because like I always was different, but I didn't know what to do. I wasn't taught how to take care of it, so it would often be dry and damaged because of the perms. And like when I got fed up, I would perm it myself. I'd go to the Dominicans and they cut half of it off. Y'all know, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know what to do. I'd go to the Africans and they'd braid it really, really tight, and I'd pull my edges, get the bumps. We all know, you know. And then one day I was like, you know what? My mother had locks. My father had locks. My aunts had locks. I'm like, this is a part of me, you know, it's something that I admired and was beautiful. I was kind of afraid because it seemed like such a permanent process. But when I was about 21, 22, a friend of mine recommended a loctician who's my best friend to this day and the only person who's ever touched my hair. And she kind of introduced me to how spiritual locks are, and natural hair in general. It's like a spiritual decision that we make to like reclaim ourselves. And that was the best decision I've ever made. I've never felt more confident and never felt more myself than when I locked up my hair. Shout out to Locks of Royalty, Kate, loctician, if you're in New York. She also be in Florida and Atlanta sometimes too. But she was my loctician, and to this day, if I'm not doing it, then she's doing it. The only person to touch my hair. And it's just funny how important it really is. And it's not just hair, it's not just a style. You know, it is really a decision to reclaim ourselves. This is how your hair naturally grows without the chemicals. I actually chopped off all my hair because all the years of perming and stuff, it was damaged. So I chopped it all off and I started from scratch, and my locks was itty bitty. I went through the whole like ugly stage, as they call it, but I was so confident. I was strutting my stuff. I was looking good. My hair was so short, and then it grew, and you know, it's just I would never cut it off. I would never change it. I would never say never, but I love it so much that I don't ever see myself like going back. You know, so that's my journey.
You know that the way that we can be so versatile with it. Like some days my hair looks like super curly. You know what I'm saying? When I put certain things in it, it's super curly, and then after a couple of days, I get like the real fro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, I love this. You know, and for a while I didn't know how to maintain it. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to style it or anything, and I just started doing whatever I felt like doing to it. You know, but the way we can be so versatile with it, we can braid it, we can twist it, we can lock it, we can wear a fro if we want. We can straighten it if we want. What, you know, without the chemicals, we can straighten it. You know, but it's just so many different things we can do with it, and it's beautiful. You know, and I'm glad that a lot of us are aware of the beauty in our hair, and we don't have to do all of these unnatural things anymore to, you know, appease others.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
but
saying?
that speaks to us as black women and how versatile we are. We come in all different shades and colors and sizes
Absolutely.
and backgrounds, you know, different things to bring to the table, and it's all beautiful. Like, I don't got nothing against women who straighten their hair. That's beautiful. The fact that you can do that, you look good. You know, you got it curly, you look good. You got the new, they got all these different type of twists now. You know what I mean? And it's all beautiful. It's just a creative expression.
It is.
You know, and you know. It's like, it's interesting when people get upset. Like I know for me, like I feel a little weird when I see like a Caucasian person with locks, you know, especially when they freeforming. And you know, it's a sensitive subject because some people be like, "What? It's just hair. They can wear their hair however they want." Sure, they can. I'm not saying, I'm not putting policing hair. I'm not putting a ban on, you know, people's hair, but it's personal. When just a couple years ago, it was illegal. It was legal for a job to fire us if we don't change our hair.
Right.
And that was targeted at us. You understand? Like, when people make things personal, like, I don't care about Sandy down the street. But it's systematic. You know what I mean? It's bigger than the individual.
Yeah, it's
right.
overlooked when she does it.
You know what I'm
As,
saying?
Oh, it's just hair.
Like, it's deeply written, it's deeply inside of the system to discriminate against us. And it comes down to our hair, the way we dress, the way we speak, our food. You know what I'm saying? Sandy will come in with her casserole, nobody would say nothing. If we come in with some fried chicken or something, everybody like, oh, you got that fried chicken and watermelon, huh? And it's all of a sudden, you know, it's like, why you gotta say it like that?
Right,
you know, we know these things are systematic.
Right.
So it's like when a white person thinks it's now suddenly trendy and cool to wear dreadlocks, when last year, you know, we were getting fired because we wasn't cutting our hair or straightening our hair or damaging our hair for the job, then that's when it becomes a problem.
Right.
You know? And it's like generational as well. Like my daughter, I'm going through it with her because she has coarse hair. You know, she has a little afro. And when I put it in the afro, my family like, why you ain't do her hair? I'm like, her hair is done. It's beautiful.
Right.
It's perfect.
Right.
And I'm trying to, and they saying little stuff like, oh, she gonna want weave. I already see it. I'm like, no, she not. Mommy got locks. She could get locks. She got afro. Her afro is beautiful. Whatever she wanna do her hair. Why she need weave? For her 2-year-old birthday, they was trying to put little extensions in her hair. 2 years old. I'm like, why is that necessary? They're like, oh, well, we don't know what to do with this then. I'm like, that's fine. Mommy got you. She got some Bantu knots. She looked beautiful. She felt beautiful, and that's what's important. She don't need no extra. She's fine by herself. Her natural hair is beautiful by itself. It don't need nothing else.
Right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Rel. And even going to Miss Shelley's point, you know, about the versatility and the fact that we don't have to do a lot to our hair. And I think that's why I enjoy the natural look, because the less that I do, the more healthy my hair is, the stronger it is, the shinier it is. And so it's a matter of allowing my hair to do what it wants. And so there's a freedom and liberation in it. So when I wake up and my hair wants to be froed, go with it. And it has allowed me to adapt and to be flexible, because I'm more of a structured, more rigid. I come from a military background, and you know, things are like X, Y, and Z. But I think my hair has allowed me to be free and allowed me to just adapt and adjust according to each and every day. So if my hair wants to be froed, if my hair wants to have more of a defined look, if it feels like it needs to be just pulled up, I will do that. And I think we have this misconception that we constantly have to have something done to it. And I feel like that is, you know, to me, that is not the way that it works when it comes to being natural. You know, the idea is that you're able to be free and to relax on doing the hair. It's already done. You're already perfect.
Right.
And so there's nothing to be done. And there's no added work to be done. There's no look into the system for this particular product and this particular thing to make yourself look any more beautiful than what you naturally are. And I just really appreciate what you said, Rel, about, you know, really laying the standard for your own beautiful child. You know, especially being a black girl in this sort of system, as you pointed out. I think it's very important that she has that strong self-concept, because just like you said, she's not going to be wanting the weaves if she's seeing such a strong black woman on a day-to-day, showing her
mommy killing it while
you know, she's not going to. I think that is a major problem. You know, I see a lot of the young kids with this heavy, thick, massive weave on their hair, and their hair is very fragile. And so by the time that they do want to explore who they are and, you know, be self-sufficient and just start doing their own hair at the ages of 10 and 11, they ain't going to have no hair. Period. Because they have traction alopecia. They've had all this heavy hair that has been pulling and stressing their hair along the years to appease to somebody else's standard and expectation. And so then when they do want to grow into who they are, they have no other option but to put weave in their hair, because they have no hair left of their own. And that's the thing that I feel like, you know, as many black people who do that to their children, they don't think about, you know, what's ahead. You know, because this is going to be years of stress on that baby's hair. And so when it's time for that child to, again, grow in who they are, what hair are they going to have left to work with?
You
know, and I think that's just a big issue that I see. And then not to mention, I see these young black girls who are 8 years old, 9 years old, who have weave down to the middle of their back. And then they're, you know, whipping their hair and really acting sassy. And then I can't help but to connect that with sexual abuse and sexual assault, because who's actually being gratified by seeing that? And so the hair is more than a style.
It is.
So yeah, I think that this conversation, you know, is very important and very necessary for us to have a critical take on what this hair actually does, you know, in terms of natural hair relative to the weaves, and also what consequences that has for young black women.
Absolutely.
Like how you said, the hair relative to what their mind frame is. So that's really what it is. I mean, the parents putting in weaves with their, you know, kids, they're not even thinking about the end result, thinking about what's going to happen, thinking about the chemicals. They don't even read what's on the chemical box.
Don't.
You know,
don't.
It's not even the thought process.
To find out now that it's connected to fibroids, brain cancer, brain tumors, all kind of stuff that we have accumulated over the years.
And that's the kind of thing that, you know, they'll keep, you know, that we as a whole community keep going in, because really it's the mind frame. It's the white mind frame that everybody's trying to assimilate and live up to. That's just like, you know, that's kind of like the bottom line of it. We would never even started this. You know, it wouldn't have even been you know, a standard at all. You know, so now that, you know, you think you can't get a job without having your hair straight. You think, I mean, it goes into so many things. Now we have colorism. That's the you know, the new thing that's in, you know? So it's just like, really when it comes down to is if you have and you promote this European type of mind frame with your kids, you know, showing them, you know, these images, like you say, you keep it away. When people say certain things, family members or not, you have to right there correct it. You know, right there show them that.
Yes. The first thing... The first thing I do with my baby once I comb out her hair and her afros, I'm like, you